Let's create a tiger inspired by the famous artist Henri Rousseau. So who is Henri Rousseau? Henri Rousseau was a French artist who lived from 1844 to 1910. He was an influencer of the avant-garde art movement in Paris. Avant-garde means new, unusual, and experimental ideas. Before he was a well-known artist, Henri Rousseau spent most of his life as a toll collector working on bridges around Paris. He taught himself how to paint and draw by copying paintings from art museums and sketching plants in botanical gardens. His art is known for being naive and primitive. Naive art is art created by a person who doesn't have formal art training, and primitive art is art that attempts to recreate a primitive experience. Many of Rousseau's paintings feature human figures and animals in a jungle setting. Rousseau's art was not widely accepted by the world at the time, but he was able to show his work in annual exhibitions, and it was celebrated by other established artists. At the age of 49, Rousseau decided to retire from his job as a bridge toll collector and dedicated his life to his art. That year, he met a friend who introduced him to Pablo Picasso and other important artists of the time. All of them admired Henri Rousseau's art. His paintings continue to influence art and are held in museum collections all around the world today. So let's review our directions. For your supplies today, you'll need a piece of paper, the tiger drawing guide that you can use for help with the directions, a pencil, a black Sharpie, crayons for adding color. We'll be using mostly warm colors, which are like reds, oranges, and yellows, and then a pair of scissors if you have time to cut out your tiger. First, we're going to start by writing our name on the back of our paper. Next, you can follow the directions in the video to draw your own tiger with pencil. After you've drawn your tiger, you can outline it with a black Sharpie, and then you can add color by blending warm colors together. If you have time, you can cut out your tiger. Next time, we'll be creating a jungle background for our tiger to be in. All right, artist, let's go ahead and see how I made my tiger now. For our supplies today, we'll be using a piece of paper with a circle traced with pencil on it. You'll need the Henri Rousseau direction sheet where you can see the steps for drawing the tiger, a pencil, a black Sharpie for outlining, and then some crayons to add color with. We'll also need a pair of scissors later to cut out our tiger. The first thing I'm going to do is write my name on the back of my paper before I start any of my artwork. That way I know that this is my art. Then flip it over and we can get started. So the circle on your paper should be on the left side of your paper. If you hold out your left hand like this and you can make an L shape, then you know that that is the left side. Your right hand makes a backwards L shape and your circle should be on the left side. The circle is for the tiger's head. We're going to follow the steps on this direction sheet to create our tiger. So you should draw with a pencil first, but for the video, I will be showing you how to draw with my Sharpie because it shows up better on camera. The first thing we're going to do is draw an upside down triangle shape in the center of the circle for the nose. Upside down means that the point is facing down, not up. Then we're going to also draw two almost triangle shapes for the ears. We'll use one diagonal line that goes up and then one that goes down. I'm also tracing the circle shape so that it shows up better on camera. You can do that later with your black Sharpie. Next steps are drawing some details on the tiger's face. We're going to draw two vertical lines that go up from the corners of the nose to the top of the tiger's head. Then we're going to draw two curved lines that start at the corner of the triangle nose and come to the bottom. We'll do the same thing with the opposite curve on the other side. So here's one, and it's going to curve around and come to the bottom of the nose shape, and then the other one curves in the other direction. This area is the muzzle of the tiger. It's where the mouth and the nose are. After, we're going to add the eyes. In this area, let's draw two ovals. We're going to eventually color these in black. Then I'm going to draw a little circle on the top and this will be the reflection that will be left white. After, we're going to draw 2 more curved lines around the eyes. So this one is almost like a letter C, and this side is like a backward C. And it's going to stop at the muzzle shape. The next thing we're going to do is add some details on our tiger's face. In the ears, we're going to draw a line from the top of it down to the bottom of the head shape. 1 on each side. This will make the ears look a little bit more 3-dimensional. I'm also going to add some lines for texture to show what the fur would feel like. So these are just short little lines coming out from that line I drew. Next, let's draw the whiskers on the tiger's muzzle. I'm drawing about 3 whiskers on each side. After, we're going to add some triangle shapes to show stripes on our tiger's face. If you do this with your pencil first, you can draw a triangle shape coming out from the edges of the tiger's face. Once you're ready to use your black Sharpie, you can kind of make these zigzag line shapes to show the texture of the fur. Remember, texture is the way something feels or the way something looks like it feels. And in art, we are trying to make our tiger look like it has fur. I just added some above the nose, and then I'm adding some around the edges of the face. We're also going to do this later in different parts of our tiger's body. Awesome, now I've drawn my tiger's face. Let's move on to drawing the body. We're going to use a vertical line and a horizontal line to draw the body. So about in the middle of the circle, we're going to draw a line to the bottom of our paper. And I'm going to make mine a little bit curved because this is the tiger's body and it might not be perfectly straight. Then we're going to draw a line from the side of the tiger's face, about in the middle, maybe a little bit lower, out to the side of the paper. And again, I made mine just slightly curved. Next, we're going to draw the tail. The tail is using a line that curves out, goes up, and curves back down. It doesn't have to look exactly like this tail. It could be in a different curve or curl. It's up to you. You are the artist. So I'm going to start a little bit above the tiger's body, so I'm leaving a little bit of space there. I'm going to draw the curvy line that comes up, and then it's going to curve around to show the end and come back to the edge of the paper. You might want to practice this a couple times with your fingers so that you can get the feel of the shape. After, let's add more black stripes on our tiger's body. Again, I'm kind of using these triangle shapes, and I'm going to go and make it into a point. Starting out wider and then getting gradually thinner so it looks like a triangle. And I'm going to do this along all the edges and on the tiger's tail. Once you finish drawing your tiger, then you can go ahead and outline with a black Sharpie. Remember that you can go over those triangle shapes you made and go back and forth in a zigzag to make texture. Once you outline, you could use an eraser and erase any extra pencil lines that are showing through your outline. And the next thing we're going to do is add color. So we're going to use crayons to add color to our tiger. I picked out some different oranges, a yellow, and a little bit of pink and peach for the tiger's nose, muzzle, and the inside of the ears. I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is yellow, and I'm going to color that lightly all over the tiger's body. And then along the edges, I'm going to blend in some different shades of orange. This will add value and make my tiger look more realistic and 3-dimensional. So I colored in all of the fur orange and yellow. I'm going to use pink on the nose and then a peach right here on the muzzle. And then I'm leaving this part of the eye white, and I'll add pink inside of the ears as well. Okay, so now that I've finished coloring my tiger in, I'm ready to cut it out. I'm also going to cut out the tail shape. It's really important when you cut that you go slowly and that you don't cut off any part of your tiger. So I'm going to cut around the body, around the head, around those ears, and then around the face and down, and then I'm going to cut out the tail separately. I'm going to speed up the video and it's going to look like I cut really fast, but I want you to take your time so that you don't cut off any part of your tiger. All right, now I've cut out my tiger and my tail. Once you do this, turn your tiger over and make sure that you can see your name on the back. My name got cut off, so that means I need to rewrite it so that I know that this is my artwork. I'm also going to do that again on the tail, just in case it gets lost. To store your tiger, we're going to use a plastic bag. We're going to make sure that our name is also written on the bag. That way we know whose it is. I'm using my Sharpie to do that because it writes better on the plastic bag. I'm going to open it up, put my tiger's body inside, and the tail. And then I'm going to seal the bag so nothing falls out. Okay, artist, I hope you had fun getting started on your Henri Rousseau tiger. Next time we'll work on creating a jungle background to put our tiger in. I can't wait to see what you create. Have fun, artist!